Hello, my friends. Welcome to El Green Live. Tonight we're going to talk about um, did LeBron make the right decision by going to Philadelphia 76ers? He had a lot of options. He had Golden State. He also had Miami. He also had, what's the other team? Minnesota. And he had Philadelphia. Now, this is the thing. By LeBron going to Philadelphia gives them some veteran leadership. In my opinion, I'm not even counting on Joel Embiid. Not at all. If he's healthy, good. They will be competitive. They will be one of the top teams in the NBA competing for a championship. No doubt about that. At the same time, you have the New York Knicks, who is, in my opinion, still a top team. They have a lot of the main pieces together. You have Giannis coming to the Miami Heat, who will be one of the top teams competing for a championship. With Bam, of course, by the time they get to the season, they'll have some more players, some more quality players. They have a pretty good squad right now that can compete. At the end of the day, you're going to have San Antonio from the West, OKC, Denver Nuggets, Minnesota Timberwolves with LaMelo and the other kid. I forgot his name. But they should be Anthony Edwards. That's his name, Anthony Edwards. They should be competitive. So I'm looking forward to the NBA. Also, since we're talking basketball, congratulations to the ladies of the WNBA. They're playing great. They're putting out a great product. You have a lot of superstars out there now. They're becoming household names. The ladies doing their thing. Congratulations to Angel Reese, who's doing big things on the modeling fashion. She even have her own Barbie doll now. Reese's Pieces, endorsements. Of course, one of her main mentors is Shaquille O'Neal, who is Mr. Endorsement himself. Caitlin Clark, she's doing great things with the WNBA as well. Asia Wilson, MVP, 3 or 4-time MVP. Probably going to end up going to be MVP again. Nafisa Collier. So many great players in the WNBA as we speak. Football season's coming up. A lot of people are excited about what's going on in football. I'm excited. I'm a Dolphin player. I'm not a player, but I'm a Dolphin fan and a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. And yeah, it's going to be a very interesting year for a lot of the Dolphin fans and a lot of the Pittsburgh Steelers fans. So it's going to be interesting. I'm excited. But I'm keeping it real. I think it's a rebuild for Miami at this point. There may be a few surprises, but I always say this about the Dolphins, and I'm a Dolphin fan. We haven't been to the Super Bowl since 1980 something with Dan Marino. It's 2026. We haven't been to the Super Bowl since 1980 something when Dan Marino was a rookie quarterback. It's 2026 as we speak. I'm very disappointed. Very disappointed. Steelers, great organization. I hate to see Mike Tomlin go. One of my favorite coaches of all time. Who knows? Maybe he come to the Dolphins and take over as head coach in a year or two. I'm not expecting us to do big things. Please surprise me. Please surprise me if that's the case, the Dolphins. Please surprise me. Because we end up, the first year, when a new coach comes to town, we win about 10 games, maybe 10 or 11 games. And after that, it goes downhill. It goes downhill from there. 10, and then it becomes like 8-8 or 9-7 or something like that. So, but we do have some quality players, and we'll see what happens on that end. So, Patrick Mahomes is coming back from an injury. Kansas City is looking to reestablish themselves in the NFL as well. So all the Kansas City Chiefs fans, and I think right now the league have changed that you like more individuals in sports in general than the team itself. Because I find myself rooting for the individual players than the teams that they play for. Maybe you guys feel the same way. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody that's joining me tonight. Thank you for your support. Thank you to the millions of people that support El Green and all the things that El Green does and connected to. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you. I can't thank you enough. But thank you for your support. Please click, follow, subscribe. Subscribing to these social media platforms is very important because it helps build that person's brand. It tells Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram that people are supporting you and people are watching you. So, once again, thank you to all the people that are watching, that's connected, views, sending little hearts and all, thank you for your donations. We appreciate the support financially, supporting the movement. I'm very grateful to all the people that support El Green and everything that El Green does. So once again, I'm very humble. I'm very grateful for the support from the business to the individuals as well, all across the world. So, right now, we're in the middle of the slowest time in sports. This is, if you've been watching sports, the only thing that's really going on right now in sports is the WNBA, which is to me, very good. Support the WNBA. These ladies are doing great things. They're doing great things. And if you like basketball, they're doing they're playing some great basketball. Baseball is doing pretty good right now. If you're a baseball fan, baseball is baseball. I don't follow that much baseball except when I get to the playoffs in the World Series. Because to me, personally, just my opinion, it's a slow game. It's a slow game. It really is. You have to be really into baseball to understand it. Not to understand it, but to enjoy it. I'll put it that way. I would rather play it than watch it myself, personally. But it is a great time for baseball and all, I always say this, when it comes to baseball, you're going to have certain teams that are the New York Knicks, and you're going to have the certain teams, wait a minute, hold on, not the Knicks. You're going to have the New York Yankees, who every year is projected to go to the World Series. You also have the LA Dodgers, who is projected to go to the World Series, very competitive. The Red Sox, always competitive. Philadelphia Phillies, the Atlanta Braves, Washington Nationals, Houston Astros, Toronto Blue Jays was in the World Series last year. That team is always competitive. So I don't know all the teams because I don't follow baseball that much, but I do know those teams. Chicago White Sox, Chicago Cubs, there's a lot of great talent when it comes to baseball. You look at the guys that play in the minor leagues, the travel teams, the kids that play year round. So it keeps them out of trouble. It keeps them out of trouble and all that kind of stuff. So it's a big not minor league, but youth baseball is a big business, in my opinion. But it is something that gets these kids ready for minor leagues, college, and then eventually the pros. So, heads up, good luck to baseball. And if you like baseball, you like baseball. Cool. Back to the NBA. This should be a great year for the NBA. Should be interesting. On the East, the top teams that are most people is picking, considering all the players stay healthy. Right now, you're looking at, most people are saying Philadelphia 76ers with LeBron James, Jaylen Brown, Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, and the other Edgecombe. Right now, they're projecting them to be in the championship and representing the East. And I would say, hold on, not so fast. Because anything can happen. Anything can happen, as we know. Not too many people were picking the New York Knicks to go and win the NBA championship last year. Not too many, unless you're a Knicks fan, but outside of the Knicks fan, not too many people had them winning the championship. Some people had them maybe getting to the semifinals. Some people had them getting to the championship, maybe representing the East. A lot of folks were picking Boston, which I don't see that. I mean, Boston was good, but I didn't see it. And I was right. Some people had Philadelphia last year. They had a chance, but once again, if you don't have a healthy Joel Embiid, it's not going to be you're not going to have a strong team. In my personal opinion, this is what I would have done. I would have set out Joel Embiid this year. I know it sounds a little crazy, but I would have set him out this year and said, hey man, listen. We know the type of player you are when you're 100% healthy. I would have set him out and focused on getting this dude healthy. Okay? He's been hurt every year. If I'm correct. I could be wrong. But he's been hurt every year that he's been in the NBA. Something. So, this is what I would do. I would sit him down and just focus on, why is this guy hurt every year? Let's figure this out. Get him healthy, because he has 2 more years on his contract. This year and next year. I let him sit out this year and get healthy and figure out what the problem is. Next year, bring him back 100% healthy. Let him ball out of control. And then guess what I would do? I would trade him. Because he's not going to stay healthy. He just not. I don't see it. But he's a great player when he's healthy. But if he's not healthy, you can forget about it. Also, Giannis is coming back from an injury. But Giannis is ready to go. I spoke to some people that's connected to the Miami Heat organization. I think if you're a Heat fan, you better go get your tickets right now. You better get your tickets because Giannis is motivated more than ever before. He's motivated to prove that he's healthy, that he's still a superstar in this league. He's still one of the top 5 players in this league. He's motivated to show the world he is that dude. Or as they say, he is him. So, we're looking forward to Giannis and Bam dominating the front court with those 2 guys. Of course, Miami has to fill in around those 2. Those 2 guys is the foundation. They're going to build around those 2 guys. And it should be pretty interesting season coming up for the Miami Heat. You have a lot of dynamic duos. And they're one of the dynamic duos. Giannis and Bam. You also have Anthony Edwards out in the West and LaMelo with the Minnesota Timberwolves. That combination there should be exciting to watch if you're an NBA fan. Washington has a new #1 pick. That team should hopefully be competitive. Atlanta should be competitive. And you have the face of the league right now, Wemby, with San Antonio. San Antonio is going to be in the semifinals. They're going to be in the finals or the championship. They're going to be representing on the West. Two teams that I'm expecting to dominate is San Antonio and OKC. OKC still have them dogs. They ran into a lot of injuries last year when they were competing for the championship. As good as Shea is, he can't do it by himself. You can be the best player in the NBA and still not be able to do it by yourself. When it comes to the NBA, it is proven that you need help. Michael Jordan, who is one of my favorite players of all time, and as I consider one of the greatest player to ever play the game. But you know what? I changed my mind on the greatest player to ever play the game, because there's so many players that were so great during their period that they dominated. And I think we have to start thinking different when it comes to considering the greatest player to ever play the game. As much as I am a Jordan fan, in my opinion, yes, but I still think we have to look at it in a different way. And that way would be maybe the greatest player of their generation. Because you had Bill Russell, who was so dominant when he played. You had Wilt Chamberlain. And I know I'm talking about some old school players, but this is what they did. You can't take that away from them. Wilt Chamberlain was dominant when he played. You had Kareem, was dominant when he played. He dominated in every level from high school to college. This dude won championships at every level. High school, college, and pro. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I know the kids today probably don't even know who he is. Maybe heard a little bit about him. Google Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and see how dominated he was. Not only that, and I'm talking about there's great players and then there are generational players. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was a generational player. Magic Johnson was a generational player. One of the greatest basketball players to ever play the game. Magic Johnson would throw passes, no-look passes, Showtime, Lakers Showtime. He started all that. Him and the Lakers started Google Magic Johnson. Kids, Google Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson was a generational player. Changed the game. Changed the game. Only a handful of generational players that come through and just take the game to another level. Larry Bird, generational player. Changed the game. Totally changed the game. Competitive when it comes to competition, him and Magic Johnson, they help elevate the NBA. Before they entered the NBA was on tape delay. It was on tape delay. It wasn't even making crazy amount of money. They were on tape delay. Magic Johnson and Larry Bird helped, of course, with the players, elevate the game as we know it today. So, like I said, there's players that come along and they're generational players. Tim Duncan, generational player. San Antonio. San Antonio was a good team, solid team. But when they got Tim Duncan and they put him with David Robinson, oh my God. Changed the game. Hakeem Olajuwon. Kids, y'all need to Google, write these names down. Google some of these players. Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. Generational player. Changed the game. Changed the game. When it comes to players, kids, NBA players that generational. And I know you guys probably at this point in time, some probably don't have no idea who I'm talking about. But Google. Like I said, there are certain players that come along and change the NBA and elevate it to another level. Like I said, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He had a skyhook that nobody could even block. There's nobody even... People tried to do the skyhook and they can't even do it. And be successful like he was. So, like I said, you have generational players that come along in the NBA. Also in different sports as well. And they elevate. So, when you look at where the NBA is at now, you have players. I just heard some the other day. I just heard some this morning. Stephon Curry, which is a generational player. He changed the game when it came to how kids play basketball. You have kids shooting basketball half court. Now, back in the day, if a kid shot, I mean, you wouldn't even think. Only time you would shoot the basketball at half court is when it was counting down 3, 2, 1. Then you throw it up and hope that it go in. Steph Curry changed the game and have kids shooting half court. Three-pointers. Right now, you got the whole half of the NBA right now is trying to shoot 3-pointers. Look at Boston. Boston Celtics. One of their biggest strategies, look it up. One of Boston Celtics' biggest strategy is trying to outshoot you and outscore you with 3-pointers. That's how they got beat by Philadelphia. Because they're going to either live with the threes or die with the threes. So, back to what I was saying. I don't think my opinion is changing on the greatest player to ever play the game. And I'm a diehard Michael Jordan fan. But I think you have to give credit to other players because they dominated and they changed the game and helped elevate the game when it comes to the NBA. And Michael Jordan just took it to a whole nother level. He was the first dude that ended up changing the money in the NBA because of the deal that he did with Nike. When it comes to Michael Jordan, yes, he is considered the greatest because of what he did. But before he was considered the greatest, there were times that he needed help. And this is what I'm saying. You can be as dominant as Michael Jordan, but even when Michael Jordan was dominating the game early, he still needed help to win the championship. Michael Jordan, I remember watching the game back in the day when he scored 60-some points on Larry Bird in the Boston Celtics. And Larry Bird, from what they say, had a conversation with somebody, and he said, I just saw Jesus with a basketball. I just saw Jesus with a basketball. Because the guy was, kids, there's some kids today only know Michael Jordan from the commercials and you know Air Jordan and all of that stuff there. But Google, watch Michael Jordan. They say there was times when Michael Jordan was practicing. And certain players were kind of goofing off. He took practice serious. There was players that was goofing off and, a couple of them end up with a few knuckle sandwiches. They smacked around a little bit because he was serious about winning. One of the most feared competitors in sport would talk noise to you, would just talk noise to you in your face. But back it up. So, yes, Michael Jordan is considered the greatest player to ever play the game. But I also think when it comes to dominating the game, generational player, there's also other players as well. And even LeBron James. LeBron James is this is what the kids are saying. Because I asked a bunch of people and I said, who do you guys like? There are kids that say LeBron James is the greatest player. Oh, I can't even say it. There's kids that say LeBron James is considered the greatest player to ever play the game. And I think one of the things, because we live in a time that this is a generation. They never seen Michael Jordan play. They don't know that much about Michael Jordan. So, to be fair to them, there's old school players, old school OGs and old school basketball fans that says the Boston Celtics was the greatest team to ever play. Some would say the Showtime Lakers was the greatest team to ever play. Now, I remember when you had Philadelphia 76ers. I remember Jordan before Jordan, Dr. J, Julius Erving, generational player, came from the ABA, had the swag, had all the fanfare, the big afro, cool. Every player wanted to be like Dr. J. Dr. J made Converse popular. All-Stars. Dr. J was that guy. He was how we look at Jordan today. In the 70s and early 80s, he was that guy. Google him. You'll see the dude flying through the air with an afro, dunking on somebody. Just, slamming, jamming. Dr. J, one of the greatest basketball players to ever play the game. Generational player. Michael Jordan just happened to be Dr. J 2.0 with more championships and more aggression. But Dr. J punched Larry Bird in the face in a game for talking noise. So, just giving you guys a little bit of history about the game, generational players. And anytime you have a sport, it's always good to give credit to the people that come before you. Because the people that come before you laid down the foundation. So, LeBron James will go down as one of the greatest players to ever play the game. This dude is absolutely phenomenal. LeBron James is a great human being. What he's done, where he's come from, I mean, look, man. If you've ever seen LeBron James in person, the dude don't even look real. He's in his 23rd year. He's in his Jordan year, matter of fact, if you want to call it that. 23 years playing in the NBA. And this is the deal. They called him in the beginning the chosen one. So, this is a guy that came from nothing. Came from nothing, but he was blessed with the gift to play basketball. And I know a lot of people always say, well, if I could have did the same thing if I had his body, if I was like him, if whatever. Listen, man, there's a lot of people that have a body like LeBron James, do what LeBron James, and they still have not achieved a sniff